The pursuit of higher education can be a roller coaster, up and down, all around, and there's consequences that can last for decades by making some major poor decisions. Hi, Dr. Dan here, and I guide students to be smart about higher education and live a life that matters. In this week's video, Wisdom for the Week video, the title of this video is 6 Reasons College Student Parents Consulting Zoltar is a Bad Idea. There's a movie that came out in 1988, and there's this 12-year-old named Josh Baskin that he makes a wish to be big, and he goes to Zoltar. If you've ever been to any of the arcades or traveling circuses or whatever, there's a machine there with Zoltar, and if you just look it up, there's plenty of Zoltars online there, and you just put your money in, and Zoltar is going to give you, he's going to grant you your wish. But the problem is, Josh goes, pounds on the machine. He first puts the money in, it doesn't work. He pounds on the machine, and all of a sudden it lights up, does its thing, and then Josh is ready to walk away, and he sees that the machine is not plugged in. So it's kind of weird to him. He just goes home. Well, he ends up waking up in the morning as in a 30-year-old body, in his 30-year-old body. He's still 12 years old emotionally, but he's 30 years old as an adult and physically. So a lot of college student parents, they have a dream. They have a dream that, and they make a wish. They kind of make a wish. They don't really research enough. They kind of make wishes. They kind of have a dream for their college students, expecting that things are going to work out, and it doesn't always go that way. The pursuit of higher education can be a roller coaster, up and down, all around, and there's consequences that can last for decades by making some major poor decisions. For example, failed courses, a change of majors, a change of schools. All these add to the length of the education. It adds to the cost. It adds to debt for decades for some of these students and their families and their parents, taking out loans to pay for the loans of their college students, and these college students harboring these debts for decades, literally. There's relationship and sexuality issues in college. Zoltar wishing causes problems. So we want to look behind the curtain of Zoltar. So the 6 reasons, starting with number 1, would be Zoltar hangs out in the wrong places. There's a lot of fun going on there. There's money being spent, but there's really nothing serious going on there at these arcades and at these fairs. Nobody is really there to get some serious advice. Zoltar is serious, but he's never taken seriously. That's different, way different than the internet, that it looks all nice, and you can't really tell whether it's fake or whether it's real in many instances. And just because it looks professional and it looks like it has all the latest data, and even the data that, even if it does have data, is it the right data? So there's some gold nuggets in that on that internet, but you got to be careful where you're looking. Second reason that parents shouldn't be consulting Zoltar is Zoltar's unreliable. If I want to be reliable means that if I'm shooting at a target, I'm going to hit it in the same place every time. So that means I can be consistent. If I take the same method, the same approach, I will consistently get an answer. That doesn't mean I'm going to get the answer that I want, but it's reliable. It's at least reliable. So most people are aware, at least they say they are, about the shortcomings of manipulation of statistics and the internet. You know, they can see a bad internet site when they find it, yet it's not that reliable, and you don't want to rely on random generalizations. And for example, you hear people all the time quoting a newspaper article or a magazine, and a lot of these magazines these are authors and writers, and I'm not dissing on them, but they got to get an article out, and they are not there to spend extensive time looking at research. And if they do find research, they aren't necessarily checking whether it's credible research. Good writers do, not to put all of them in that category, but there's a lot of stuff out there that just doesn't have a sound basis. Third reason, Zoltar's information is never valid. Valid means I'm shooting at that target. I'm not only hitting it in the right place, but I'm hitting the bullseye every time. that means it's valid. Whatever I'm looking for, I'm finding the right information, the reliable information, and it's information that I need for me. It could be reliable information for somebody else, but not for me. But if it's valid and reliable, that means it's reliable. It's valid for me. So it's hitting the bullseye consistently. And Zoltar is never consistent, except in asking for more money. That's what he's consistent at. So you got to peel back those layers. An example of this might be if you Google the law of attraction. Now, it's stating it's a law. There's a law of gravity, and we all know that works. That's valid and reliable. It works all the time, every time. But the law of attraction is not a valid and reliable concept. It's not well researched, and it doesn't have any sound research to it. And it sounds good, and it's got some good principles to it. You could call it a principle of attraction. You could call it thinking attraction, but you can't call it a law. So they make it sound like it's been documented, it's well researched, and because a bunch of celebrities say, oh, this really works, that doesn't mean that it works. Their law of attraction for their financial benefit is the law of attraction works there because they got a lot of money. It doesn't work in their family life because they've been divorced 3 times. So don't look at those things. Find out the validity of the things going on. Zoltar is all show, but he doesn't walk the talk. So if you go to a campus, is it pretty? Are the people nice? And a lot of people go to campuses. They want to look for the pretty campus and the nice people. And those are nice, but that should be a given. I'd rather go to a very unwelcoming campus that has excellent professors and staff that really care about their students. The questions that need to be asked are, what's the freshman dropout rate here at this school? What kind of internships does this school guide students to? Now, it's up to the student to get the internship mostly, but you really want to make sure that the school facilitates that well. What's the teacher-to-student ratio? What's the average debt upon graduation? Is there financial assistance available? Some of the state schools, they are less in tuition than the private schools, but the private schools offer more help and more financial assistance, which means it's ultimately cheaper than going to a state school, and most people don't know that. So just things like that. You gotta go through the superficial things. Finally, next to last, the 5th one, Zoltar has no proven credentials. There's many experts out there, and they call themselves experts, but are they really experts? Look at their credentials, look at their background. Lastly, Zoltar has advice for everything that's really good for nothing. Zoltar comes up with generalizations, random thoughts, and you can try to fit it into your life, but Zoltar's information is no good because it's just a wish. So there's no substitute for the hard work and getting the right information, talking to reliable people that are credible. And so finding out, so summing this up, college complements and supplements purpose in our life. If your student parents can find why they're going to school, find a purpose behind that, that's so important because that helps all these other things to fall in line with their purpose and not trying to fit into a school that may not be a good fit for them. So it's real important to find that purpose, what's meaningful to them, and pursue that through college. College will enhance that purpose and enhance that meaning. They will go and enjoy the college experience. They'll go on to find a job that they enjoy because they know what they want to do. They know their major. They have a better idea in their major, and it doesn't have to be locked in great detail, but it's got to be locked in enough to say, I'm not going to spend an average of 6 or 7 years trying to complete college because I can't figure out what I want to do, and I'm spending extra years in college to do this. So fulfill a calling with perseverance and the assistance of competent help, and that will radically increase the probability of having a great college experience and not dealing with Zoltar. So if you thought this was helpful, like it, share it, leave your comments below. You can sign up for my YouTube channel if you want to hear more of these videos, see some articles that I've written on eZine and on LinkedIn. You can see the links below, and that's another way to connect with me. So this is Dr. Dan. Know where you're going in life. Become the person you were destined to be, and make a difference in the world.